What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Happy holidays to you guys. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Now you guys know, normally every Friday I would do a episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest issue, but because today is Christmas Eve, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different on the channel for today's video. I'm actually going to be doing a deck profile, and funny enough, it's actually one of the last decks that you would least expect out of this channel. What is it, you may ask? Gadgets. Yeah, funny enough, gadgets are actually pretty viable in today's meta, and as we go into 2022, there are some cards, there's a few cards in today's meta that are so viable, it's literally that good. It's just that damn good, which is insane. And Gadgets is one of them. What's cool about this one is that this deck was inspired by none other than my boy Shadow Realm Yu-Gi-Oh. Big shout outs to him. Big shout out to him. And what's cool about this is that the extra deck has one synchro, 5 links, and the rest of the extra deck are Xyz monsters. But there are 3 cards that help make this deck even more viable than you would ever thought. So, with that being said, to show you guys how many monsters we have in this deck, we have a total of 30 monsters with 3 trap monsters. So that's a total of 33 monsters with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells. And then the rest, and then the rest of them, and then the rest of the main deck are traps. So this deck is just absolutely busted. I did some test playing with this deck. I fiddled around with it for the last couple weeks. This deck is just absolutely stupid. So hopefully you guys enjoy the deck profile. If you guys do enjoy, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links will be in the description. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into it. And I will be posting the deck list on my Instagram, so make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Again, the link will be in the description. Let's get straight into it. First up, we have one copy of Machina Ruin Force. I believe this is one of the new cards that will be released, I believe, in either Battle of Chaos or Dimension Forces. One or the other. Or it could have been Burst of Destiny. I don't remember. But this card is just absolutely stupid. So if you guys have never seen this card before, it's a 10-star. It's a 10-star Dark Machine with 4,600 attack and 4,100 defense. And it says, cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summon from your graveyard by banishing machine monster from your grave whose total levels equal 12 or more. When your opponent activates a card or effect during the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can pay half your life points and negate the activation, and if you do, half your opponent's life points. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon up to 3 of your banished Machina monsters whose total levels equal 12 or less. You can only use each effect once per turn. So what's cool about this is that it's basically your infinite negation of sorts. Yes, it's basically your infinite solemn judgment of sorts, where you're paying half of your life points, which is basically the solemn judgment effect, but you're also negating your opponent's activated effects and then cutting their life points in half. So if their life points were I'll say 1,000, yours was at 7,000, you'd be paying 3,500 life points. Your opponent would be paying 500, which is pretty crazy. But not only that, this card can actually help you go into a card like, say, I don't know, Gustav Max, perhaps. This card is just absolutely nutty. Then we have the one copy of Machina Citadel. This is actually a card that was released in the most recent Machina structure deck that we got. What was it, within the last year, if I remember correctly? So it's sort of an older card, but if you guys have never seen the card before, it's it's a 10-star Earth Machine with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, and it says cannot be normal summoned or said must be special summoned by a card effect. So meaning that if you summon a monster from your hand, you can use, and that monster has an effect where you can target a monster in your opponent's grave and summon it. You can basically target this card and just summon it that way, which is pretty cool. Which is actually pretty cool. It also has some pretty interesting effects. I'll read them off to you. As a quick effect, you can target one machine monster you control, destroy that machine monster, and all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it. Sorry guys, my mind went. Sorry guys, brain fart. Destroy that machine monster and all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it. So basically, it's like a. It's basically Raigeki, so to speak. If a face-up Earth Machine monster or monsters you control accept this card, it's destroy a battle or card effect. While this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect once per turn. So again, it's basically Raigeki Monster Reborn, and again, it's basically fodder for Gustav Max. Then we have 2 copies of Super Express Bullet Train. This is another 10-star Earth Machine with 3,000 attack. This time it has 0 defense. And the effect reads, cannot declare an attack unless you send 2 other cards you control to the graveyard. So, do you even care about attacking with this card? No, you don't. Why? Because you're using it as Xyz material or link material to summon cards like Platinum Gadget, Scribe Wyvern, or even also, cards like Appaloosa, even again Gustav Max, which is pretty crazy. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. If all monsters you control are Earth Machines, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the end phase, if this card is in the grave because it was sent there this turn, you can target a machine monster in your grave, accept this card, add it to your hand. So it's basically Cyber Dragon and monster reincarnation of sorts, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Again, what's cool about this is that any of the 10 stars can help you make Gustav Max, help you go into Libe, to help you go into Zeus, or you can use them to go into cards like Appaloosa, Platinum Gadget, pretty much anything that you may have in your extra, which is pretty crazy. Then we have 2 copies of Heavy Freight Train Derricrane, which this card is just absolutely crazy. It's a 10-star Earth Machine, 2,800 attack, 2,000 defense. If an Earth Machine monster or monster is a normal special summon to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, but its original attack and defense become half. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is detached from an Xyz monster and sent to the graveyard to activate that monster's effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So you want to try and maximize using both for Gustav Max and then go into Libe. That way, not only can you give Libe an additional 2,000 attack, but you can also pop cards that your opponent may have on the field. So it could be a Trap Hole or a MST, depending on how you see it. And then to round out the Machina package, we have the 1 copy of Machina Unclaspbar. This card is absolutely insane. This card is just crazy. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. Also you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. Given the fact that the whole deck is machines, you're pretty much good to go. You're pretty much good to go on that one. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send You can send one Machina monster from your deck to the grave, except this card. You can only use each effect once per turn. So with this, basically, when you summon this card, you can basically send the Ruin Force to the graveyard, and just combo off from there, which is pretty crazy. I am running a scrap package, so we have 3 copies of Scrap Raptor and 2 copies of Scrap Recycler. Scrap Raptor is pretty cool because I actually talked about this on the channel when Konami actually announced the card, which I think was it Dawn of Majesty, if I remember correctly. The effect reads, you can target one monster you control, destroy it. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon a scrap monster in addition to your normal summoner set. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card and sent to your grave, you can add one scrap factory or non-tuner scrap monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So basically, you destroy Scrap Raptor, normal summon the Recycler, and that's when Recycler's effect will come into play. Because Recycler's effect reads when this card is normal or special summon, you can send a machine monster from your deck to the grave, so it acts as like a fool's burial of sorts. But what's cool about this is that its second effect is pretty crazy. Once per turn, you can shuffle 2 level 4 Earth machines from your grave into the deck, draw 1 card. So it's kind of like a really bad pot of avarice of sorts, which is just absolutely nuts. But just those cards alone, just these 12 cards alone is just absolutely nuts. But if you think these are crazy, the gadgets themselves are even nuttier. So for the gadget part of the deck, we have 3 copies of Gold Gadget. We actually have 3 copies of all the gadgets. So we have 3 gold, 3 platinum, 3 green, 3 red, 3 yellow, and 3 ancient gear. You're wondering why ancient gear? I'll explain that once we get to that point. So, Gold Gadget's effect reads when this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand. So with this effect is basically a double summon of the source, which is pretty crazy. What the hell? Ew. Sorry guys. I'm on my phone and they gave me a Amber Alert where there was a child abduction. Shoutouts to the family of that child. Hope you guys find your kid. Wow, that is just sad. I don't have the words for it, to be honest. That is sad. To have your child abducted is sad, but bullshit. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. Sorry for that slight delay. But yeah, again, child abduction, the worst form of scumbags you could ever see. Anybody who abducts a child is the lowest form of scum you could ever fucking think of. They can go to hell. Anyway, that being said, Gold Gadget's effect reads again. Basically, when you normal or special summon this card, you can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand. So this acts as sort of like a double summon of sorts, which is pretty cool. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a level 4 gadget monster from your deck. Except this card, you can only use the effect once per turn and only once that turn. So Gold Gadget basically summons from. So both Gold and Silver Gadget have the same effect, but they both have the same effect. Yeah, basically both gold and silver have the same effect where if they're normal or special summon, you can summon another level 4 machine from your hand, and if they were to be destroyed, you can special summon a level 4 gadget from your deck, except each other. So with Silver Gadget, you cannot summon Silver Gadget. Gold Gadget, you cannot summon Gold Gadget. But that's actually that's pretty cool. Green Gadget basically just adds red Gadget to the hand. Red Gadget adds yellow to the hand, and then yellow Gadget adds green to the hand, which is pretty crazy. And then the 3 copies of Ancient Gear Gadget. You're wondering, why this card? What is up with this card? Why is this so good? This card is nuts. This card is absolutely nuts. It's a 4-star Earth Machine with 500 attack and 2000 defense. If this card is normal or special summon, you can declare 1 card type, monster, spell, or trap. This turn, if your opponent attacks, if your monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards or monster effects, whichever was declared, until the end of the damage step. Once per turn, you can declare 1 Gadget monster's card's name until the end phase. This card's name becomes that name. So you're not using it for its second effect. You're mainly using it for its first, where because that your opponent will be running cards like potentially, like Magic Cylinder or, Imperm or whatever, you can declare Trap. Your opponent can't do anything. Not even a Mirror Force would be able to stop it. That's how crazy this card is. It ensures that all of your plays will go through. So you can declare spell. Your opponent can't activate cards like Cross Out or even also Call By. Not even Cosmic Cyclone. You can activate Monster, Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre. Hand traps won't do it. Trap card, any of the Psalms, the Imperms, none of those will matter until the end of the damage step, which is pretty crazy. But that's pretty much it for the monsters. I know that you may think, I'm sure you guys are thinking that this deck really sucks. But true result, I did some extensive test playing. This deck is just crazy. Trust me, guys. Trust me. Moving on into the spells, there's only 5 in the deck. We have the one Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, back row. Back row can be a fucking pain in the ass, so might as well do it, right? Might as well just take that feather and use it like a broom. Sweep it away. Next up, we have 3 copies of Urgent Schedule. This card is absolutely nuts. This was released, I believe, in Legendary Duelist Ancient Millennium, if I remember correctly. It was either there or something else. Oh no! Sisters of the Rose. Sorry, it was in Sisters of the Rose. What's cool about this is that its effect is just absolutely crazy. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon a level 4 or 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monsters from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. You cannot declare attacks the turn you activate this card except with machine monsters. If this set card is sent from the field to the grave, you can add a level 10 machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So what's cool about this is that you can actually activate this during your opponent's end phase. So this deck is perfect. Perfect. More so going second, because if you open with this card, you can activate this during your opponent's end phase. Summon out, I'll say Silver Gadget, and we'll say Citadel. Let's just say that. Or actually, no. Or actually, not Silver Gadget. I'll say Ancient Gear Gadget and Machina Citadel. Summon those in defense, and you can easily go into your Platinum Gadget, maybe even also your Appaloosa, which is pretty crazy. And then, of course, to round out the spells, we have the 1 Ray Gun Magic Quick Chaos, and you're wondering why. You'll know once we get to the action. Trust me, you'll understand why. Moving on into the traps, we have the 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. You got to make sure that your plays go through, and you want to make sure that hang on, guys. Sorry, guys, my Fire Stick went to sleep. There we go. And also, too, guys, I actually got myself a new Fire Stick. It's the 4K Max. Big shoutouts to Amazon. Big shoutouts to Amazon for sending me their new Fire Stick. It's the 4K Max. It's a lot more faster than the last one I got. No copyrights, not sponsored. Amazon is just incredible. But anyway, moving on. Again, with Imperm, you want to make sure that your plays actually go through, because Imperm can be a huge pain in the ass for your opponent if they don't have any outs to it, which usually they don't. Usually there are no outs to it, usually. So, yeah. The one copy of Waking the Dragon, mainly for the fact that I am running Cypher Lord Omega in this deck, and I'll explain why once we get to that. 2 copies of Zing Zang Hu. This is basically another version. This is basically a much more different version of Harpy's Feather Duster, where instead of it being swept away, you target 2 back row that your opponent may have that are set. They can't be used. This card just ensures that your opponent can't use any back row, which is pretty cool. And then 2 copies of Solemn Warning. Now, moving on to the 3 cards that I mentioned. You're wondering, what are they? Well, they are known as Stronghold, the Moving Fortress, Powerhold, the Moving Battery, and Metalhold, the Moving Blockade. You're wondering, what the fuck do these do? Truth be told, Stronghold really doesn't do anything. But the only way that this card could be a powerhouse is if you had red, green, and yellow Gadget on the field, and it becomes 3,000. Otherwise, it's trash. But what's cool about Powerhold, the Moving Battery, this card is just really nutty. It says special summons card as an effect monster. 4-star Earth Machine, 0 attack, 2,000 defense. Then you can equip 1 level 4 Machine Gadget monster from your hand or deck to this card. This card is also still a trap. If summoned this way, this card gains attack equal to double the attack of the monster equipped to it by this effect. So you can target Gold Gadget. And Gold Gadget, I believe, let's see, 17? Basically, it becomes a 3,400 beat stick on board, which is pretty crazy. And then Metalhold, the Moving Blockade, is mainly used for the gold and silver gadgets. But you're wondering what its effect does. It says But with Metalhold, its effect reads, activate this card by targeting any number of level 4 machine monsters you control. Special summon this card as an effect monster. 4-star Earth Machine, 0 attack and defense. Then equip those face-up monsters to this card. This card is also still a trap. If summoned this way, this card gains attack equal to the combined attack of the monsters equipped to it by this effect. Monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects except this one. But you're not using it for the fact that they can gain attack points and all that. No, you're using these 3 because of the fact that they're all 4-star machines, and you can help and it can help you go into cards like Gear Gigant X, Heavy Armor Train Iron Wolf, even also number 27 Dreadnought Dreadnoid, which are cards that I'm running in this deck. They can even help you also go into your Platinum Gadget, or even also Appaloosa as well, which is absolutely nuts. You're using them as rank 4 fodder, which is... sorry guys, my mom was just being weird. Anyway, they're used as rank 4 fodder for the rank 4 monsters that you have in the deck, which is absolutely insane. It's just that damn good. Moving on into the extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Cypher Lord Omega. The reason why I chose to run Cypher Lord Omega in this deck is because because of the fact that you're gonna be doing a lot of banishing of the effects of Machina Ruin Force and several other cards that are in this deck. So Cypher Frame Lord Omega just ensures that they go back into your grave so you can use them again as fodder for pretty much whatever you need to, which is just absolutely nuts. We have obviously Zeus, Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. What's cool about him is that he basically gets board wipes he basically gets one board wipe for every 2 materials that it has. So for instance, if there's if he has 10 materials on it as an example, then he basically can have 5 board wipes on field, no problem. And you mainly want to try and use this on your opponent, on your opponent's turn rather than your own, because if you do it on your turn instead of your opponent's, you're gonna end up losing everything as well. So that's the only downside to Zeus, but he's still pretty badass. Next up, we have Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libe. This card is a mouthful, but this card is just absolutely nutty. This card is nutty. Once per turn, you can also exceed summon Libe by using a rank 10 machine exceeds you control as a material. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. It gains 2,000 attack and defense. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can only declare an attack with this card during each battle phase. During each battle phase this turn, this card can make attacks on monsters up to the number of materials it has +1. So, yeah, that's what, 3 materials? Not too shabby. And then, of course, Gustav Max. Basically, your rank 10 Gaga Cowboy, basically. That's all I gotta say about that. Now for the reason why I decided to run Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos is because I am running the Silent Honor package. So we have Silent Honor Arc and Silent Honor Dark. Silent Honor Dark is just absolutely nutty. Being able to take one of your opponent's monsters and attach it to Dark as its own material would actually helps to go into Zeus, which is just absolutely nuts. Now for the rank 4 machines, we have 2 copies of Gear Giga X. This is basically your Rhoda for the deck, where you can detach a material and you can add pretty much any of the 4-star monsters that are in the deck, which could be the Machina Unclasped Bar, the Scribe Raptor, the Scribe Recycler, or any of the gadgets for that matter, which is pretty cool. And also too, what's cool about this is that if you were running Gear Gigas in this deck, when its second effect red, when this face-up card leaves the field, you can target a level 3 or lower Gear Giga monster in your grave, special summon it, so it would act as like a monster aboard. But I believe these actually count as Gear Gigas. So if you have one on the field and one in the graveyard, you can actually target. They can actually target each other. Or so you thought. Actually, truth be told, I thought so, but they're actually rank 4. So I do apologize. I didn't. Yeah, level 3 or lower. Sorry guys, it's like 8 in the morning right now, so I do apologize. But yeah, you could have done that, but there are no Gear Gigas in this deck. But moving on to round out the Xyz monsters, we have the Iron Wolf, the heavy armored train Iron Wolf. This card is just crazy good. It says, because its effect reads, once per turn you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, target a machine monster you control. This turn it can attack your opponent directly. Also, other monsters cannot attack. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, battle or effect, and sent to your grave, you can add a level 4 machine monster from your deck to your hand. So this acts as like a Rhoda of sorts with that effect. And then the Dreadnoid basically allows you to go into Gustav Max, help you go into Libe, and then help you go into Zeus. So this would be what, 3 what? This would be 3, 4, 5 board wipes. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. 4 or 5 board wipes. That's what? 2, 3 board wipes off of what? 5 materials. That's actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then for the links, as I mentioned, we have the 1 copy of Appaloosa for a nice hefty amount of negation. Scribe Wyvern. This card is actually not too bad, but its effect reads: you can target 1 scrap monster in your grave, special summon it, then destroy a card you control. If another face-up scrap monster is destroyed by a card effect while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon a scrap monster from your deck and destroy a card on the field. So basically, you're able to just pop cards on your opponent's field with the card, which is pretty cool. And then the 3 copies of Platinum Gadget, because Platinum Gadget is just absolutely nutty. Cannot be used as link material when the turn it is link summon. During your main phase, you can special summon a level 4 lower machine from your hand to your zone this card points to. If this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon a level 4 gadget monster from your deck. So we'll use each effect once per turn. So this basically a Link 2 version of Saryuja, where you can just special summon a monster to a zone it points to. Is just absolutely nuts. Absolutely insane. Moving on into the side deck. This is just my personal preference on the side deck. I did take, again, the whole deck idea. The main extra inside was inspired by Shadow Realm Yu-Gi-Oh, so big shouts to him. But this is just my preference anyway. But we have 2 copies of Nibiru and 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird just ensures that your opponent can't add cards from their deck to their hand, which is absolutely insane. The 1 copy of Ally of Justice Decisive Armor. If something like Scribe Wyvern or like say I'll say Omega or a Platinum Gadget doesn't work out, Decisive Armor and Cyber Dragon Infinity can be an even bigger help, because with Infinity you can gain more and more materials to help you go into zoos, whereas opposed to the whole Dreadnoid Gustav go into Libe, that's only like what, 5 materials? That's not too bad, but you want to have more board wipes on board with Zeus, so that's why I added the Silent Honor Dark, and of course the Infinity. 2 copies of Lightning Storm. This is mainly just in case if the Feather Duster doesn't work out so well. Called by the Grave. You want to make sure your plays go through. And then 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice. Again, is another, like, a much more better version. It's basically the spell version of Infinite Permanence, which is pretty crazy. The other 2 copies of Waken the Dragon, again, for the Decisive Armor and for the Infinity. And then the 3rd copy of Solemn Warning. So, all in all, this deck is just absolutely nutty. 30 monsters, 5 spells, and the rest are traps. 3 of the traps being trap monsters, help you go into your rank 4 plays. It's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good deck, if I do say so myself. But I do want to point out, next Friday, next week, I will have Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue come back, and I actually have something special, something very special in mind for that episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But that is going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this deck. And again, that will do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want you to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out, and happy holidays, everybody.